Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to the Siberian wilds, to a Russian area known as Irkutsk. In the district of Tulin, the climate, a humid continental climate with warm, brief summers, with sporadic rain, and long, cold, snowy winters. This area is known as taiga, which is a broad stretch of uninterrupted forests of Siberian and Dahurian larch, stone pine, and various species of fir and spruce trees. The understory of the forest consists of alder and aspen trees with willow bushes crowding every body of water. Wild strawberries and raspberries yield their seasonal bounty amongst wildflowers, shining a broad array of colors. Large game animals in the area include eastern roe deer, Siberian musk deer, moose, caribou, wild boar, and Eurasian elk. Taiga predators include a Eurasian coyote cousin, called a dhole, Eurasian lynx, wolves, and wolverines, snow leopards, and brown bears. Around June 20th, 2022, a 62-year-old Russian man, whom we'll refer to as Yuri, had been enjoying the trophy brown bear hunt of which he'd dreamt. For months he'd thoroughly planned the hunt and traveled here to do so. His plan was to construct a platform in a tree overlooking a trail and wait for a brown bear to walk by, toward a nearby stream or food source. After climbing into his hunting blind, Yuri settled in and waited. He watched as breezes blew through the bushes and sent leaves shaking on the quaking aspen around him. Birds chirped and flitted amongst the forest canopy as he eagerly waited and anticipated a bear emerging from the brush. After a few hours, Yuri noticed a hush fall over the forest around him. Knowing this was a possible sign of an approaching bear, he glanced around hoping to see one. To his surprise, a huge, dark shape emerged about 50 yards down the trail. It was a massive bear. It looked like a chocolate-colored horse with really short legs in size, and was impressive in its power and majesty. Yuri raised his rifle and tried to calm his breathing. He couldn't believe he was a simple trigger squeeze away from harvesting the trophy bear he'd dreamt of so many times and for so long. He held his sights on the vitals of the massive bruin and slowly squeezed the trigger on his rifle until it thundered a triumphant blast. After firing at the bear, Yuri lowered his rifle and watched the bear. He could see it spin and stagger, then fall over in a very quick death. The hunter was filled with the joy of success of his kill and fought storming down the ladder to check out the bear immediately. After waiting a few minutes and observing the bear for movement, Yuri was certain that waiting any longer would just be a waste of time. He tried to calm himself before clearing the spent casing from his rifle and climbing down the ladder from his blind, leaving his rifle leaning against the tree trunk. As Yuri approached the brown bear, he was impressed with its massive size. Laying on the ground, its shoulders and rump stood at a few inches over 2.5 feet high, and its enormous belly undoubtedly held pounds of berries still undigested from its last meal. Approaching within a few feet, Yuri was terrified to see the bear's eyes open and head lift from the ground. In a flash, the bear leapt upon Yuri before he could take a single step in retreat. He knew this was the worst-case scenario, and could only hope that the bear's wounds would kill it before it could kill him. A few hours later, Yuri was overdue to return, and his hosts began to grow concerned. They knew that he would have returned had he killed a bear, to recruit help in packing it out, so his absence set an ominous concern across the other bear hunters' faces. They chatted about what to do, and what could be keeping Yuri so late. They decided to organize a search party to locate him, and agreed to head out in the morning. After waking, the search party met near the camp. Making their way through the forest, they soon found the trail leading to the hunting blind, and proceeded along it with trepidation. They found Yuri's hunting blind, but Yuri wasn't there. After spreading out a bit, one of the searchers suddenly voiced that he'd found Yuri's body. The armed men gathered around Yuri's corpse, and were horrified by his appearance. He was lying on his back with his arms crossed over his abdomen. Yuri's head was completely crushed in what was an immediately lethal bite. On his corpse, the rescue party could see numerous slashes from the bear's claws and paired puncture wounds on his neck and various other parts of his body. The rescue party turned sullen as they recognized their mission turned from a rescue to a recovery. As they talked about what to do next, one of the men pointed to a dark shape in the bushes a short distance away. Suspecting it may be the bear, the men prepared themselves for it to emerge in a defensive attack on them for violating its food cache. The shape didn't move for several minutes, so a few brave volunteers decided to investigate the shape. As they covered the 50 yards, the enormous motionless shape of the giant brown bear appeared. They examined the bear's carcass to see why it had died. As far as they could tell, the bear had ambushed Yuri, perhaps while he relieved himself after departing the hunting blind. Upon finding a bullet wound, they began to put together the puzzle the attack scene presented. After finding a single rifle casing in the hunting blind, they understood that Yuri had approached the bear after severely wounding it before being attacked. They loaded his corpse onto a canvas gurney to carry him out and return him to his loved ones. Before bringing Yuri down the trail, they looked around and noticed that there were no animals cached by the bear, and it couldn't have been surprised by the man, given he was in a tree blind. There was no cub tracks present at the scene, so they chalked Yuri's fatal bear attack up to vengeance. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Cheer membership will give you ad-free early access to each of our episodes, plus access to pictures from attack scenes that wouldn't pass YouTube guidelines. The $3 each month will help me continue to make more interesting and educational episodes like this one, so your membership is appreciated. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Given the size of this bear, would you approach it after only a few minutes of its apparent death? Was the bear awake the entire time, or did it suddenly wake up when Yuri approached it? Why didn't Yuri shoot the bear again just to make sure? What would you do if you were suddenly caught in a frenzy of slashing claws and snapping jaws? To me, it is the stuff of nightmares. I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.